I call the First Minister.
Presiding Officer, on this, the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day, Scotland pays tribute to our Second World War generation. We express our gratitude for the 57,000 individuals from Scotland who lost their lives in military conflict during World War II, and to the many civilians also killed and injured at home. They gave of themselves so that we could enjoy freedom today. We will all naturally think about how the lives of our own families were affected. I think of my uncle, Thomas Hunter, killed in Italy protecting his comrades 35 days before the end of the war, posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross by King George VI, with an inscription written on the Bible given to my grandmother in his memory, the words of St. John, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down their life for their friends." The lessons and the suffering of the Second World War must be remembered today so that we all act to protect the freedom and the democracy that we have enjoyed as a result. Together, we give thanks and dedicate ourselves to building a better, safer and more peaceful world.
Thank you. I call Russell Findlay.
Thank you. 80 years ago today, the guns fell silent across Europe. At 3 p.m. on the 8th of May 1945, Prime Minister Winston Churchill made a radio announcement to the people of our country. After 6 long and dark years of death and destruction, victory for Britain and our allies against Nazi Germany was secured. World War II was the largest and deadliest conflict in history. It involved more than 50 nations and was fought on land, sea and air. Globally, it is estimated that as many as 85 million lives were lost. Tens of thousands of Scots were killed at home and abroad. And to those of us who have only ever known peace and prosperity, the horrors of war are unimaginable. None of us here can truly appreciate the selfless sacrifice, duty and bravery of the greatest generation who fought and died for our freedom. Today, Victory in Europe Day, we remember them.
Thank you. I call Anas Sarwar.
Today on VE Day, we pause to remember the courage, sacrifice and unity that brought an end to the war in Europe 80 years ago. We honour those who served on the front lines and those who kept life going at home. In Scotland, Britain and beyond, we remember those who gave everything for the fight against fascism, the greatest tyranny we have ever faced. Their bravery shaped the democracy we cherish today. But remembrance must also inspire responsibility. First and foremost to those who served and to those who serve our country today. And we must protect those freedoms, stand up to hatred and division, and build a fairer, more compassionate country, just as that generation hoped we would. We remember them, we thank them, and we pledge to carry their values forward. And we continue to strive for a world at peace.
Thank you. I call Lorna Slater.
On this 80th anniversary, marking the end of a dark chapter in history, we remember the sacrifices made by all who stood against the tyranny of fascism. Their courage and resilience ensured our freedom, peace and democracy. We will forever be grateful to them. Peace is not merely the absence of war, but also the presence of harmony, understanding and cooperation amongst nations. Yet currently we are witnessing the horrors of genocide continuing in Gaza, and fascism reappears, threatening democracy and human rights as the far right rises across the world. We cannot be complacent in the face of growing threats of fascism, international violence, hatred and oppression. We must continue to strive to build a world where peace endures and the horrors of the past are not repeated. We must remain vigilant and united in our efforts to create lasting peace by supporting democracy, justice and human rights for all.
Thank you. I call Alex Cole-Hamilton.
Presiding Officer, today we commemorate the moment when 80 years ago the High Command of the Allied forces received the unconditional surrender of the Third Reich. Whilst war still raged in the Pacific, for the first time in 6 years, across these islands, the tension, grind and privations of wartime gave way to lasting peace. In a radio broadcast to the British people and to the world, King George VI said, "On this day of just triumph and proud sorrow, let us take up our work again, resolved as a people to do nothing unworthy of those who died for us, and to make the world such a world as they would have desired, for their children and for ours." His words ushered in the long peace that most of us have only ever known. As we give thanks today for the sacrifice laid down by the generations to come before us, we must rededicate ourselves to the promise of that peace and its furtherance for our children and theirs to come.